Those of you that are deep in the middle of it, that you are in the grind, you are building things, you haven't quite reached where you want to be yet. And we're going to talk about how that makes you feel, how that makes everybody else feel, and just some of the stuff you can expect now moving forward. First of all, you're tired, and I get it. We all are. And this isn't the kind of tired that sleep can fix. This is the kind of tired that's deep in your bones, as my mom or grandma used to call it. It just doesn't seem to go away. It's like you're carrying something heavy all the time. You can't see the end. You're not for sure, especially those of you entrepreneurs out there, you're not sure what you're doing is even going to work, and you don't know if there's going to be a payoff. It's kind of like running a race with no finish line. You just don't know when it's going to end. I can remember this from gym class when I was younger, and I wasn't a guy that liked to be in the gym when I was younger. I didn't like to exercise. Actually, when the exercise was bad, it was all the cruel kids in gym class because I was an awkward nerd little kid. So I didn't like it. And I hated the exercises the coaches made us do where they just wouldn't tell us when it was going to be over. And not having a watch, you didn't know the time. It was just terrible. That's the kind of tired that a lot of you are feeling right now. And that's all right. Because when you're in that state, that should give you feedback and tell you you're doing what you need to do. It doesn't feel like it at the time, and it takes a mental shift to be able to do that, to get up and be tired and be like, yeah, let's do it again. Let's do it again. Let's do it again. After a while, it's kind of like lifting weights. You feel that pain at the end of your set. You know that you're doing some good. You stay in that zone as long as possible by choice. It really alters the way you think. There is no difference here in that growth zone. Will never feel like you have enough time. You'll never get everything done. It's just always behind there. You have to protect your fire, though, because there's going to be a lot of people that start to show up and they don't help you build, and they're not there to help, even though a lot of them will say they're there to help because they're worried about you mentally. But they're there to question what you're doing because you're making them uncomfortable and you're an enigma. You don't know. No, not you don't know. They don't know how to react to you. They don't know how to interact with you. And they know something about you is threatening their status quo and they want it to stop. And as a result, they want you to stop. And sometimes this is family. Sometimes this is close friends. All the time, they really believe that they have your best interest at heart. I don't think anybody's really the villain in their own story. Now, there may be some people out there that run around there just being cruel for being cruel's sake, but usually you save that for the internet behind a keyboard and being a troll there. They come at you with questions like, why are you still doing this? Come on, is it that little business really going to do anything? That one really used to piss me off, that little business. I don't even really like the term small business. I know that it's become accepted, but small business definition is so broad, it really doesn't mean anything. But that little side project, that side hustle that you're doing, you're still doing that? Is it even working? You really should take a break. You've earned it. Maybe you should slow down a little bit. Maybe you should rest. God, you're just so tired all the time. You don't have time to go out with us anymore. You're just not any fun. All you ever do is work. Any of this sound familiar? Because let me make something very, very clear. Most people don't kill their own dreams. They let other people slowly suffocate them to death by 1,000 cuts, or they start listening to the haters that are going on out there and that are coming at them. And some of them come at them as friends and with your own best interest at heart, and they dress up their discomfort in these nasty questions that you really don't have a response to because you're so focused on what you're doing. And if you're not paying attention, that doubt's going to start to creep in, and it's going to start working on your belief. And you're going to start outsourcing your level of belief to people who don't give a rip about the outcome, except they want you to stop because you're making them uncomfortable. And then you start negotiating with people who haven't built anything, who don't even have the fortitude to chase their own dreams and their own goals, which is why they want you to stop, because it makes it easier for them to accept their reality. This may not even be conscious, folks. You can be mad at these folks if you want, but I don't recommend it. It doesn't do any good. And half the time they don't even know they're doing it. When you're deep, deep in this grind, you have to avoid these people because they will start to sap your energy. And your energy is your most valuable asset. It's more valuable than money. It's more valuable than strategy, and it's more valuable than connections. Just the very sheer fact that you are continuing to do things and to go forward in a manner that is only tied to your effort, your dream, and running after something that only you can see in your head. Maybe your spouse, maybe somebody close to you, but only you can see that. People don't understand that. And if your energy starts to drop off of that, you don't execute as hard. And if you don't execute as hard, then everything starts to die. Your dream slowly starts to fade away. And most people don't look around and go, This isn't working. It sucks. I'm not doing this anymore. And let their dream die. That's not how it works. I don't need to make a call. I'm tired. I don't need to make those last few calls. I don't need to make those last few follow ups. I'll do it tomorrow. And then one thing after another, you start to negotiate with yourself until you're just not on that path anymore and you're right back to where you were before. The difference is now you're more miserable than you were in the first place because you know there's a better way. You know you're capable of doing it. And you know that you chose not to, one little tiny piece at a time. So you need to start guarding your energy. You need to start guarding your power, guarding your joy, whatever you want to call it, but you need to start protecting that like your life depends on it, because it does. There's nothing in your life more important than that drive that keeps you pursuing your dreams and your goals in life. Not a single thing. That level of dedication and that level of focus is so scary and so intimidating because all of the pieces begin to fall away. All of the decisions begin to become clear, and everything that doesn't matter, that doesn't drive you towards that dream or that goal in that specific timeline that you've set, all of a sudden becomes irrelevant. Those parties become irrelevant. Weddings become irrelevant. Travel becomes irrelevant. Days off become irrelevant. The only thing that matters with this level of radical dedication is what you are doing to get towards that next rung of the ladder that gets you closer to your goal, period. And the thing is, most of the time, you're going to look like you're failing. You're going to feel like you're failing. To the outside world, it's going to look like you're failing, like nothing is happening, like there's not a single thing that you're doing that is producing any kind of results. You don't need their opinion right now. You don't need more input into try and figure out what you're doing. You don't need validation because you're not going to get it. You need more execution. Damn sure don't need permission from people in your life to chase your own dreams, or from people in the outside. You don't need anybody's permission to go after what you want. The fact that you want to do it is enough. Simply enough. That's the easy part. I know it sounds terrible, but that's the easy part. That's the beginning, or that's somewhere along the middle. But that's the part where you've got lots of energy and you're really, devil may care, and I'm going to battle the world, and I don't care if I'm going to have to put up with somebody's BS, and you can just stand up to them. But there's another part of this that nobody really ever talks about because it's not a sexy part. This is what happens when it's quiet. This is what happens when things slow down, when everything you're doing is just a mess, when it does not look impressive. And this is the phase that decides everything. I don't know how many of you have actively done a construction project, but if you've ever done a construction project, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, then just go watch one sometimes and see. A construction project from the end of day one until about the last 5 or 6 hours of the project looks like complete chaos. An experienced construction guy can look at a project and say, yeah, we're going to be out of here tomorrow. And somebody who doesn't know what they're talking about is going to look at him and go, what the hell are you talking about? There's shit everywhere in here. But that level of chaos doesn't look like progress the entire middle of the construction job until the very end. And then it all looks done. And it looks like it happened all in that last day or in that last couple of days where you put it together. When in reality, all of the previous stuff was much more important, but you couldn't see it because all of that to the uneducated eye looked like chaos. It was not impressive. But this is the phase, this is the piece in your life that decides everything. It's that dirty work, that nasty, quiet work that you do when nobody else is watching. But this is also where most people give up and fold because you can't see the ultimate outcome. You get tired. You get uncertain. The uncertainty grows in your brain and you're wondering if it's ever going to work. And you're so tired, you just don't have it in you. And that's when you start listening to all these people that you haven't divested yourself of. Because before, when it was easy to tell them to be quiet and leave you alone, that was one thing. You were motivated, you were excited, you were still at the beginning. Well, now you're tired, now you're exhausted. Now even you don't know if it's going to work. And everything they said comes back to you. And if they're still around, now they come back even harder because they know they have your ear. Just like that, your dream starts to die on the vine. Don't be this person because this is not you. This is not who you are. I am recording this to point these things out to you because if you're in this phase of your life right now, take my words to heart. This is not who you are, and you don't have to allow their choices and their opinions to control your life moving forward. Only you control it. Only you can make it happen. Only you give a shit about your dreams enough to make them come true. So I don't care if everything in your life is falling apart. I don't care if you're starting over for the first time. I don't care if you're starting for the first time. If everything's going great and yet you're trying to build and do something more, maybe you're trying to shift careers and go into a different career and everything seems hard. And there's really a dichotomy there because if you're good at a career and you want to do something different, it's been good and easy for a long time because you're very experienced. And whenever you shift to that different career, none of that experience carries over. So everything feels super hard, even harder than it did at the beginning. When you start something for the first time, you don't expect it to be easy. You expect everything to be hard. But once you've been good at something for a while and you switch over and you switch gears and you start something else, you kind of expect it to be implemented in the same way. And it's not. It doesn't give a rip where you've been in the past. It takes you right back to the beginning and you have to relearn everything one step at a time. Even if you studied and have a mentor and what have you, you still have to do the work. You still have to do it. But you don't get to come this far to build this much towards your dream, to have this much faith to become this person that just hands it over because someone else is uncomfortable watching you struggle, because your struggle, because your dedication, because your radical purpose is making them feel something inside that they don't like, because they've been lying to themselves about why they're not successful and why they're not getting what they want out of life. And you're invalidating every single one of those excuses. So I'm going to encourage you, you let them doubt, let them question you, let them misunderstand you. Your life does not require an explanation to anybody else, because this is the cost of doing something real. This is the cost of moving that game piece to the next board, to play the next game, to finishing the game and moving on. This is what it takes. What you feel right now, that exhaustion, that frustration, that desperation, all of those things mixed into one, because you're in the middle of it, and yet you get up day after day after day and you do it over and over and over again, hoping that one day it will make a difference, and it will. That's where you need to be. That's why you must keep going, and that's why you cannot let these people outside of you drag you down. First of all, anybody on the internet that's posting and bringing you down as far as that goes, ignore them. They don't give a rip, and they never will. Their whole existence is designed to make other people feel less than them. So I'm not really talking about them, because you should blow those people off immediately. Internet trolls are that way for a reason. But the people around you, the ones that you respect, that don't understand you, tuning them out's not always so easy. I don't have any tips for that, folks. You just got to stop. You got to be so radically dedicated to your purpose that everything else falls away. Everything becomes irrelevant. You don't need a 4-point decision matrix or anything else, because you already know when you go to bed what you're going to do when you get up tomorrow to make these things happen. Your job right now is very, very simple. Protect your fire. And how do you protect your fire? You have to protect it by keeping it alive, even when it's small, even when you've been inconsistent, and even when nobody, especially when nobody else can see it. You keep stoking that fire. You stoke it with your dreams. You stoke it with your passion. You stoke it with, one day I'm going to be to where I expect to be. One day I'll be that man I know that I am. One day I'll have that goal and nobody has to understand it, because one day that fire becomes something that nobody around you can ignore, but only if you keep it alive long enough for it to get there. So this again is for you guys that are in the middle of it, and if you're in it right now, keep going. You need to tighten your circle, and if you can't get rid of people that are doing this to you and get them out of your life completely, you do not have to engage with them. Keep them at as far distance as you possibly can. And yes, that's going to hurt some people's feelings. Well, I don't have a lot of friends. Well, I have to be loyal to my family. That's not what I'm talking about. But I'm talking about, you don't have to let their negativity input and spoil your attitude, your dreams, and put your fire out. Keep them at a distance. Cut off all of the noise. Do not listen to anything that doesn't get you closer to your goal. Any people, any advice, any direction. None of it. Only things that matter towards your goal. Get your reps in. Do what you need to do every day to make your dreams and your goals happen. And remember this, nobody gets a vote on your life unless they earned a seat at your table. And that table does not need to be very big. The people that you surround yourself with are on your side 100%. I made a post on Facebook from the gym the other day, and it was like, look, if you're not going to help me, you're not going to hurt me, but you need to get the hell out of my way. Because I'm doing this anyway. I don't need your permission. I'm in the middle of this. And the reason I'm talking to you guys right now, the way that I'm talking to you, is there's a lot of really big shit coming down. There's a lot of big changes going on right now. There's a lot of uncertainty out there in the world. And for those of you that started chasing your dreams before it looked like everything else was falling apart, this can be an easy, convenient excuse to quit and stop and be worried all the time. Don't do it. Don't do it, because it's not going to help and it's not going to do any good. It doesn't matter what your circumstances are. It doesn't matter what the world's circumstances are. All that matters is what you're doing right now to pursue your dreams and your goals and improve yours and your family's life, period. So folks, if this hits right now with where you are and what you're doing, you don't have to keep doing this by yourself. I want you to share this video with someone after you've liked and subscribed and followed me on social media and done all the things. But I want you to share this video with someone that you want on your team right now and you want on your circle. And if you're done spinning your wheels and you're done feeling like you're fighting this battle on your own, go down there, grab one of my free books. It doesn't matter which one of the two's there. They may hit. Take them both. I don't care. That's fine. And then reach out to me and let me know what you guys need, how I can help quiet that noise, how I can help with your focus and with your pursuit of your dreams. I want to hear your failures, but I also want to hear your wins. Put it in the comments, send me a DM. It does not matter. Nice short episode for you guys today. As always, if this helps, invite somebody to listen to the channel. All we do is